Gina Thon Shonish, Rashka Galov. It's more than an dum, Kogal Shaw, Fortune looked out Brasket. Tom Kinche Gunari, Harbar Lish and Kogal, August Gamanishiv, Galair Lish, Tandov, August Tarva, Asan Kogal. Chairperson, I am delighted to welcome Conference and Labour members back to Galway City and to NUI Galway this weekend. We bear very fond memories of our last conference in Galway in 2010, which was such an enormous success. How long ago that feels now. I would like to thank the local party organisation here in Galway, which has helped the sterling work done by the General Secretary, Ita McAuliffe, and the party staff who put this event together. And they would never forgive me if I didn't remind you that there is a fantastic array of entertainment organised in the Merrick Hotel, both tonight and tomorrow night, jazz bands, Irish music and so on, all at a steal, I'm told, for just €10. So please buy your tickets. It is somewhat special for me to be opening the conference in this university. I joined the Labour Party over a decade ago at the age of 19. It was in a room just 200 metres behind me that I first saw Michael D. Higgins speaking. The point I knew that left politics were my politics and the Labour Party was my party. I was chairperson of the youth branch here in the university when I first ran for election to the City Council at 21 and received enormous support from staff and students. Indeed, the university has contributed many notable figures to the Labour Party: Michael D. Higgins, Pat Rabbitt, Eamon Gilmore and myself. I must admit that I am particularly proud also to open the conference in the centenary year of the party. I was reflecting on some of the history this week when I was writing these remarks for you today. It struck me that in 100 years we have gone from the politics of lockout to the politics of bailout. It remains a truism that the history of the Labour movement has always been the struggle for freedom, be it political, social, or so evidently today, economic. There is no doubt that this is a challenging time for our party to be in government. What attracted me so strongly to the Labour Party was the fact that ours has always been a politics based on ideals and ideas. In this constituency, we have always spoken about the Labour agenda in terms of rights, be that the right to work, the right to education, housing, transport and so on. Progression of rights through public services is central to our thinking. Yet for the first time in a generation, we are not in a position to fully progress that agenda. The economic crisis we inherited has forced us in some instances to suspend that progress. This is all the more difficult when some of the programmes affected are ones that we ourselves fought for, campaigned for and introduced when last in government. And we do it not for its own sake, but in order to secure more fundamental rights, such as the very right to public services themselves, the right to a functioning state, the right for people to work at all, and the right to economic independence. Yet it is praiseworthy that even in such constricted times, we are making progress on universal access to health care, on the rights of vulnerable and low-paid workers, and the protection of those who cannot find a job and are on social welfare. As a newcomer to national politics, I must say I watch with disappointment the cynical and opportunistic political stances of some who oppose us. Those who engage in fantasy discourse, emotional rather than rational, exploitative rather than caring. It is my opinion when the history of the greatest economic crisis to face this state is written, historians will look back with scorn on those parties and technical parties who manipulated people's genuine hurt and suffering in the name of cheap politics and quick electoral gain. I have heard it quoted in the papers this week that Labour doesn't understand the anger out there. Nonsense. We understand that anger and we feel that anger. Anger at the actions of a Fianna Fáil elite and their crony golden circle who brought this country to its knees. The difference is with Labour is that we harness that anger, that energy, and it gives us determination to act and make changes with real policies, considered programmes and concrete action. The difference is that we are a party not of simple protest, but a party with responsibility and a desire to implement change. We cannot, and Galway will not, let this conference go by without recognising the enormous joy of seeing our own very Michael D. Higgins elected as President of Ireland. His enormous achievement is a tribute to the strength of his personal character, his goodwill, and his intellect. But we can be very proud too that in an election driven so much by media frenzy and hype, it was Michael D's politics on inclusion, citizenship and rights that shone through and secured in excess of 1 million votes. Those politics are Labour politics. So let us use the wonderful opportunity of this conference to give voice to that politics and idealism. Let us debate our ideas openly and honestly. Let us show the people of Ireland who voted for us in such record numbers that ours is a considered politics, responsible and inclusive, but most of all, with the interest of the people at heart. Thank you.